Prophet Muhammad, born in the year 570 CE in Mecca, was not just a historical figure. He was the embodiment of mercy, justice, and spiritual excellence. He came into the world during a time of tribal conflict, social inequality, and rampant idolatry. Yet from the very beginning, his life was marked by dignity and divine purpose. Orphaned at a young age, he was raised first by his grandfather Abdul Muttalib and then by his uncle Abu Talib. Despite the absence of parental care, he grew up with a reputation that would define him. Al-Amin, the trustworthy. Even before receiving revelation, he was known for his honesty, fairness, and compassion. Merchants trusted him with their goods, and tribal leaders sought his judgment in disputes. His integrity was so widely recognized that when the tribes of Mecca quarreled over who should place the sacred black stone during the reconstruction of the Kaaba, they unanimously chose Muhammad to resolve the matter. He did so with wisdom, placing the stone on a cloth and inviting all tribal leaders to lift it together. At the age of 25, he married Khadija bint Khuwaylid, a wealthy and noble widow who had hired him for a trade expedition. Impressed by his character, she proposed marriage. Their union was one of deep love and mutual respect. Khadija was the first to believe in his prophethood, and their marriage remained monogamous until her death. Together they had several children, including Fatima, who would later marry Ali ibn Abi Talib and become the mother of Hassan and Hussein. At the age of 40, Muhammad began retreating to the cave of Hira, seeking solitude and reflection. It was there, during one of these meditative nights, that the angel Gabriel, appeared with the command, "Read." Thus began the revelation of the Quran, a process that would continue for 23 years. The message was revolutionary. The oneness of God, Tawhid, the equality of all humans, the importance of justice, and the rejection of idolatry. He preached that wealth should not be hoarded, that the poor should be cared for, and that women, orphans, and slaves had rights. His teachings challenged the status quo, and the Quraysh elite responded with hostility. He and his followers were persecuted, boycotted, and tortured. Yet he never retaliated with cruelty. His response was always rooted in patience and prayer. His character was described by his wife Aisha as the Quran walking. He was the living embodiment of divine guidance. He was humble, he mended his own clothes, helped with household chores, and sat among the poor. He disliked arrogance and extravagance. He loved simplicity, silence, and sincerity. He was merciful to all living beings. The Quran calls him a mercy to the worlds. Quran 21:107. One of the most striking examples of his mercy was during the conquest of Mecca. After years of persecution, he entered the city victorious. The people who had once plotted to kill him stood before him in fear. But instead of revenge, he declared, "Go, for you are free." He forgave them all. His daily life was a balance of worship, service, and family. He would rise before dawn, pray far, and spend time in reflection and supplication. He interpreted dreams, taught his companions, and visited the market to engage with the community. He took a short nap in the afternoon, known as Kailala, and spent time with his wives and children. He was affectionate, often playing with his grandchildren and showing love openly. He helped with household tasks and never considered himself above others. In the evenings, he led prayers and engaged in night worship, sometimes standing in prayer for hours. He fasted regularly, especially on Mondays and Thursdays, and increased his worship during Ramadan, particularly in the last 10 nights. He was also a statesman and military leader. After migrating to Medina in 622 CE, a journey known as the Hijra, he established the first Islamic state. He drafted the Constitution of Medina, which guaranteed rights to Muslims, Jews, and other communities. He led battles when necessary, such as Badr, Uhud, and the Trench, but always emphasized diplomacy and mercy. Even in war, he forbade the killing of women, children, and non-combatants. He taught his followers to treat prisoners with kindness and to uphold justice even against themselves. In his final sermon, delivered during the farewell pilgrimage, he emphasized equality. No Arab is superior to a non-Arab, and no white is superior to black. You are all equal in the eyes of God. He urged his followers to treat women with kindness, to uphold the sanctity of life and property, and to remain united. Shortly after this sermon, he fell ill and passed away in the arms of Aisha at the age of 63. He left behind no wealth, no palace, only a legacy of love, truth, and transformation. Today, Prophet Muhammad is remembered not just as a religious figure, but as a model of moral excellence. His life continues to inspire millions to live with integrity, humility, and purpose. He was, as the Quran says, an excellent example for those who hope in Allah and the Last Day. Quran 33:21. His teachings, preserved in the Quran and Hadith, remain a source of guidance for all aspects of life: spiritual, social, political, and personal. He would carry his granddaughter Umama during prayer, placing her down gently when he prostrated and lifting her again when he stood. He kissed children, played with them, and taught that showing affection was a sign of mercy, not weakness. When a Bedouin once saw him kissing his grandchild and remarked, "We do not kiss our children," the Prophet replied, "What can I do if Allah has removed mercy from your heart?" Sahih Bukhari. He respected the dignity of every person, regardless of status. He sat with the poor, ate with slaves, and never turned away someone in need. He would rise to greet guests, even if they were of low social standing. He never interrupted people when they spoke, and he never mocked or belittled anyone. His companions said that when he spoke to someone, he would turn his whole body toward them, giving them his full attention. He listened with sincerity and responded with wisdom. One of the most powerful examples of his mercy occurred during the conquest of Mecca. After years of persecution, his followers tortured, his family insulted, and his city boycotted, he returned victorious. The Quraysh feared revenge. But instead, he stood before them and said, "No blame will be upon you today. Go, for you are free." Source: Ibn Hisham's Sirah, also cited in Ar-Rahiq al-Maktum. This act of forgiveness transformed enemies into allies and remains one of the most profound examples of mercy in history. His compassion extended beyond humans. He taught that every living being deserves kindness. He once saw a camel crying from hunger and overwork. He stroked its head and said to its owner, "Fear Allah regarding this animal. It has complained to me that you starve it and overburden it." Source: Musnad Ahmad, Abu Dawud. He told of a man who was forgiven by Allah for giving water to a thirsty dog, and of a woman who was punished for imprisoning a cat without food. He recognized the emotional pain of a mother bird whose chicks had been taken and ordered they be returned. Source: Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sunan Abu Dawud. Even in moments of grief, his mercy was evident. When his son Ibrahim died in infancy, he wept. A companion asked, "You cry, O Messenger of Allah?" He replied, "The eyes shed tears, the heart feels sorrow, but we say only what pleases our Lord. Indeed, we are saddened by your departure, O Ibrahim." Source: Sahih Bukhari. His respect for people was rooted in the belief that every soul is honored by Allah. He taught that no Arab is superior to a non-Arab, and no white is superior to black. He said, "All of you are from Adam, and Adam was from dust." Source: Final Sermon, Ibn Hisham's Sirah. He was not just a man of words, he lived these values. He forgave those who insulted him, prayed for those who harmed him, and never sought revenge for personal injury. His life was a continuous expression of divine mercy, and his legacy remains a timeless guide for how to live with compassion, dignity, and love. One of the earliest and most painful trials he endured was the loss of his beloved wife Khadijah and his protective uncle Abu Talib in the same year, known as the Year of Sorrow, Am Alazn. With their passing, he lost both emotional support and political protection. When he turned to the city of Ta'if for refuge and support, its leaders mocked him and incited their children to stone him. Bleeding and humiliated, he took shelter in an orchard and made a heartfelt supplication to Allah. "O Allah, to you I complain of my weakness, my lack of support, and the humiliation I am made to suffer." Source: Ibn Hisham's Sirah, Ar-Rahiq al-Maktum. Despite this cruelty, when the angel Jibril offered to destroy the city, the Prophet refused. He said, "No. I hope that Allah will bring forth from their descendants people who will worship Him alone." This was not weakness, it was strength rooted in mercy. He saw beyond the insult and pain, hoping for future generations to find guidance. His patience was not passive, it was active, deliberate, and deeply spiritual. He endured the murder of companions, the torture of slaves, and the slander of his own character. Yet he never retaliated with cruelty. He taught his followers to respond to evil with good, and to uphold justice even against themselves. This mercy extended not only to humans but to animals as well. His compassion toward animals was so profound that it shaped Islamic ethics for generations. He taught that animals are communities like humans, Quran 6:38, and that every act of kindness toward them is rewarded by Allah. One of the most beautiful stories, recorded in classical Sirah literature, is the incident of the nursing cat. During a military expedition, the Prophet noticed a mother cat nursing her kittens along the path. Rather than disturb her, he ordered the entire army to change course and go around the animal so she could continue feeding her young in peace. Source: Al-Sirah al-Halabiyah, Al-Mawahib al-Ladaniyah. Though this story is not found in Sahih Hadith collections, it is widely cited in traditional biographies and reflects the Prophet's consistent behavior toward animals. He was gentle in speech and gracious in conduct. The Quran describes this quality. "It is by the mercy of Allah that you were gentle with them. Had you been harsh and hard-hearted, they would have fled from around you." Quran 3:159. Even when people came to him with harsh words, he responded with calm and dignity. He never interrupted others, never mocked anyone, and never raised his voice in anger. He gave his full attention to whoever spoke to him, turning his entire body toward them. He was always the first to greet others, and he never withdrew his hand from a handshake until the other person did. His humility was unmatched. Though he was the leader of the Muslims and the most honored man in Arabia, he never assumed superiority. He sat on the ground, ate simple food, and mended his own clothes. Yet he would stand up to greet others, showing respect regardless of status. He was a model of patience. Aisha, R.A., once asked him, "Have you ever experienced a day harder than the day of Uhud?" He replied that the most painful day was when he went to Ta'if and was rejected and stoned. Yet even then, he chose mercy over vengeance. Source: Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. The merciful are shown mercy by the most merciful. Be merciful to those on earth, and the one in the heavens will have mercy upon you. Sunan at-Tirmidhi, Hadith 1924. Whoever is not merciful to people, Allah will not be merciful to him. Book Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 5997. Al-Adab al-Mufrad, Book 20, Hadith 375. Mercy is only removed from the one who is destined for wretchedness. Books Al-Adab al-Mufrad, Book 20, Hadith 374. Allah is kind and loves kindness in all matters. Books Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2593. In a book I read before, it was written, killing people while chanting takbir, committing massacres, detonating bombs to murder innocent civilians, and destroying cultural heritage are incompatible with humanity and the religion of Islam. Setting traps, betraying one's nation and people, deceiving in the name of God, and invoking terms like innocent Imam, Mahdi, Messiah, universal Imamate, along with lies, trickery, deception, secrecy, legal ruses, la al-sharia, dissimulation, taqiyya, mysticism, and secrecy. None of these have any connection to jihad. Jihad means struggle. It is the struggle against Satan, the struggle against one's own ego, the effort to do what is right, and to live in unity and harmony. It is the protection of one's independence, flag, homeland, freedom, and identity. It means being a virtuous person, working hard and succeeding in every field, striving for progress, and doing beneficial deeds for oneself, one's family, nation, state, and society. Jihad is the embodiment of human values. Prophet Muhammad was a respectful and humble prophet. There are many verses in the Quran regarding respect, humility, and human rights. And we have certainly honored the children of Adam. Book Surah Al-Isra, 17 hours 70 minutes. There is no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out clear from error. Book Surah Al-Baqarah, 2:256. And speak to people good words. Book Surah Al-Baqarah, 2 hours 83 minutes. And speak to him with gentle speech that perhaps he may be reminded or fear Allah. Book Surah Taha, 2044. To you be your way, and to me mine. Book Surah Al-Kafrun, 109:6. Indeed, I am the perpetual forgiver of whoever repents and believes and does righteousness and then continues in guidance. Open Book Surah Taha, 20 hours 82 minutes. Islam is a monotheistic religion founded on the belief in one God, Allah, and the final prophet, Muhammad. It means submission or surrender to the will of God. Muslims follow a way of life based on a faith, iman, in Allah, angels, prophets, scriptures, the day of judgment, and divine decree. A practice, ibadah, through the 5 pillars, shahada, declaration of faith, salah, prayer, zakat, charity, psalm, fasting, and hajj, pilgrimage. Islam emphasizes justice, mercy, compassion, and the dignity of all human beings. The Quran is the holy book of Islam, believed to be the literal word of Allah revealed to Prophet Muhammad over 23 years through the angel Gabriel. It is the primary source of Islamic law, ethics, and guidance. Composed of 114 chapters, surahs, and over 6,000 verses, ayat, are written in classical Arabic, considered inimitable and miraculous. It covers theology, morality, law, worship, and human rights. Muslims regard the Quran as unchanged and preserved, and its recitation is a form of worship. Hadith refers to the recorded sayings, actions, and approvals of Prophet Muhammad, as narrated by his companions. It is a secondary source of Islamic guidance, explaining and expanding on the Quran. Divided into 2 parts. A isnad, chain of narrators. A matan, the actual text. Categorized by authenticity. Sahih, authentic. Hasan, good. Da'if, weak. Maudu, fabricated. Hadith collections include works like Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, and Sunan Abu Dawud. They help Muslims understand how the Prophet lived and practiced Islam. Thanks for watching this far. I hope this helpful video has further informed you. Keep up the good work, my friend. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next video. Take care, goodbye.